Right now, there is a voice in your head reading these words, not your ears, not someone else, you. And if you're being honest, that voice never really stops. It's there when you wake up. It's there when you're in the shower. It's there when you're staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m., telling yourself to go to sleep. Scientists call it your inner voice. But here's what's strange. Nobody asked for it. Nobody taught it to you. And you cannot turn it off. So what actually is it? And why does your brain spend so much energy talking to a version of yourself that already knows everything you know? The answer is stranger than you think. Let's start with what's actually happening inside your skull when you hear yourself think. In the 1930s, a psychologist named Lev Vygotsky made a discovery that changed everything. He was watching children play, and he noticed something that every parent has seen, but nobody had studied. Children talk to themselves constantly, out loud. A 4-year-old building a tower of blocks doesn't just build it, she narrates it. Now this one goes here. No, that's wrong. Try the big one. Vygotsky called this private speech, and he had a theory. This wasn't random noise. This was a child learning to think. His argument was radical for the time. He said that thought itself doesn't come first. Language comes first. Children learn to talk to other people. Then gradually, over years, that external conversation gets pulled inward. It goes underground. It becomes silent. Your inner voice isn't something you were born with. It's something you learned. It started as talking to your mother, and it never stopped. It just moved inside your head. But here's where it gets interesting. In 2011, neuroscientist Charles Fernyhough at Durham University started scanning people's brains while they used their inner voice. What he found confirmed something researchers had suspected for years, but never proven. When you hear your inner voice, your auditory cortex activates, the part of your brain that processes actual sound, real external sound. Your brain is literally hearing you think. It's not a metaphor. When you have a conversation with yourself in your head, your brain fires in almost exactly the same pattern as when you hear a real human voice speaking out loud. The difference between thinking and hearing is smaller than we ever imagined, and it gets stranger. Fernyhough found that the inner voice isn't just one voice. For most people, it has characters. It has dialogue. It argues with itself. One part of you says, just eat the cake. Another part says, you said you wouldn't. You are not one person having a monologue. You are multiple perspectives having a conversation inside one skull. So why does the brain do this? What is the point? The answer is one of the most important things evolution ever built: simulation. Your inner voice is how your brain runs practice scenarios without risking your actual life. Think about the last time you had an argument with someone. Not the real argument, the one you had in your head afterward. The perfect version, where you finally said the exact right thing at the exact right moment. That wasn't pointless. That was your brain rehearsing, filing the situation, building better responses for next time. Or think about the last time you had a difficult conversation coming up, a job interview, a confrontation, telling someone something hard. Your inner voice ran that scenario dozens of times before it happened. This is called mental simulation. And research from the University of California found that people who mentally rehearse difficult conversations beforehand perform measurably better in the actual conversation. Less anxiety, clearer thinking, better outcomes. Your inner voice is a flight simulator for real life. It lets you crash 1,000 times privately so you don't crash once publicly. But there's a dark side to this. The same system that helps you prepare for hard things also traps you in them. Psychologists call it rumination, and it is exactly what it sounds like. Your inner voice gets stuck on one thing and chews on it over and over. The embarrassing thing you said 3 years ago, the text message you shouldn't have sent, the moment you wish you could take back. Here's the brutal statistic. Research from Harvard found that the average person spends 47% of their waking hours not thinking about what they're actually doing. Their mind is wandering. And when it wanders, it most often wanders to negative things. Your brain has a negativity bias built into it from millions of years of evolution. Bad things could kill you. Good things were just nice. So your inner voice was trained by evolution to rehearse threats more than rewards. This is why you can receive 10 compliments and 1 criticism and lie awake at night thinking only about the criticism. Your inner voice isn't being irrational. It's doing exactly what it was built to do. It's protecting you from a threat that in modern life usually doesn't exist anymore. So here's the question nobody asks. If your inner voice never stops, and for most people it genuinely never stops, what happens when you finally silence it? Researchers studied Buddhist monks who had spent decades in deep meditation. People who had trained their inner voice to quiet down. What they found in brain scans was remarkable. The default mode network, the brain system most associated with the inner voice and mind wandering, was significantly different in long-term meditators. Not smaller, not damaged. Different, more controlled, more intentional. They hadn't lost their inner voice. They had learned to choose when to use it. Most of us have never experienced that choice. The voice was there when we woke up. It was there when we went to sleep. We assumed it was just what thinking was. But here's the thing. Nobody tells you. The voice in your head is not you. It's a tool your brain built to help you survive and navigate the world. It's incredibly useful. It's also incredibly loud. And for most of human history, people had no idea they could have any relationship with it at all other than just listening to it every single night. When your ancestors sat around their fire, they weren't scrolling, they weren't consuming, they were sitting in silence with their own thoughts. And maybe, just maybe, that silence was the only time the voice finally got to rest. We took away the darkness. We took away the silence. And then we wondered why the voice never stops.